Hello friends, I am Professor Nilas Khanani, taking your physics, SY Physics, paper number 301, semester 3. Today we are discussing the teaching scheme of paper 301 like a fiber optics, laser and electronics. Credit 4 नहीं है. Total teaching hours is 60. Internal mark is 30 and external mark end of semester exam is 70 marks, total 100 marks, and practical session credit 3, number of practical hours 16. Practical internal mark is 50 and end of semester exam external mark is 35. Now introduce to paper style. BSc Physics syllabus for the semester 3 consists of unit 5. Total we are studying the number of unit is 5. All unit theory 14 marks. દરેકના 14 માર્ક્સ હોય છે. Total 5 questions in 1 questions from each unit. દરેક યુનિટમાંથી 5 ક્વેશ્ચન્સ પૂછવામાં આવશે. Each questions of 14 marks. દરેકનું વેઇટેજ 14 માર્કનું રહેશે. ટાઈમ ડ્યુરેશન ઓફ ધ પેપર ઇઝ 2 hours 30 minutes. Questions 1 is 14 marks from unit 1. Questions 2 from unit 2 14 marks. Questions 3 from unit 3 14 marks. Questions 4 from unit 4 14 marks. Questions 5 from unit 5 14 marks. Each question should be divided into A and B subdivisions as shown in below. નીચે આપેલા પ્રમાણે આપણે જોઈ શકીએ છીએ કે દરેકના એ અને બી વિભાગમાં વહેંચવામાં આવેલા છે. ટોટલ 14 માર્કની અંદર આન્સર એ 10 માર્ક, આન્સર બી 4 માર્ક્સ. Criteria cover is the application, example, problem and theories. Now discussing the paper 301 fiber optics, laser and electronics. Unit 1 ની અંદર આપણે ઓપ્ટિકલ ફાઇબર વિશેની માહિતી મેળવીશું, લાઈક ઓપ્ટિકલ ફાઇબર, ક્રિટિકલ એંગલ ઓફ પ્રોપોગેશન, મોડ્સ ઓફ પ્રોપોગેશન, એક્સેપ્શન એંગલ, fractional reflective index change, numerical aperture, types of optical fiber, applications, illuminations and image transmissions, optical communications, military applications, optical fiber sensors, medical applications, fiber optical communication, advantage and disadvantage. For the optical fiber, we are use the reference book of the textbook of optics and Subramaniam Brijlal and M.N. Adalulu. Publication is the S. Chand and Company. ફાઇબર ઓપ્ટિક્સની અંદર આપણે લોકોએ ઓપ્ટિકલ ફાઇબર કેવી રીતના બને છે તે, ક્રિટિકલ એંગલ, ન્યુમેરિકલ એપેચર, મોડ્સ ઓફ પ્રોપોગેશન, પ્રોપોગેશન્સ, એક્સેપ્શન એંગલ, ટાઈપ્સ ઓફ ઓપ્ટિકલ ફાઇબર, આ બધાનો સ્ટડી કરવાનો છે. અને વેરી ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ ચેપ્ટર અને બહુ ખૂબ જ સહેલું ચેપ્ટર છે કે જે આપણે આમાં યુનિટ 1ની અંદર સ્ટડી કરશું. યુનિટ 2 12 hours 14 marks. covered into lessons. This topic you need to cover the lessons. First of the interaction of radiation with matter, like a spontaneous emission and stimulated emission, light amplifications and conditions, how to amplify lights, population inversions, pumping, metastable stats, the principal pumping schemes, optical resonance, types of lasers, ruby lasers, NDR lasers, helium neon lasers, semiconductor lasers, PN junction lasers, and applications. Today we know the communications of mobile communications like a 3G, 4G, and we will few years we are update the 5Gs. In behind of this technology is the two main component like optical fiber and lasers. આપણે લોકો જાણીએ છીએ મિત્રો તે પ્રમાણે આજે 4G અને ભવિષ્યની અંદર 5G ટેકનોલોજીથી અપગ્રેડ થવાના જઈ રહ્યા છે. આ અપગ્રેડ થવા પાછળનું જો મેઇન સોર્સિસ હોય તો એ છે ઓપ્ટિકલ ફાઇબર એન્ડ લેસર્સ. So we are studying this unit, lasers, and various types of applications like medical fields, hospitals, militaries, chemical industries, mechanical industries. We are using the satellite communications further and many more uses of lasers. Basic reference book for Unit 2 is the textbook of optics and Subramaniam Brislar and M.N. Adhalulu, Son and Company. Unit number 3, 12 hours, 14 marks. Transistor biasing and stabilization of operating points. આપણે આ ચેપ્ટરની અંદર ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટર વિશેની યુનિટની અંદર ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટર વિશેની માહિતી મેળવીશું. એને કેવી રીતના સ્ટેબિલાઇઝેશન્સ કરવો, કેવી રીતના ઓપરેટ કરવો તેની આ ચેપ્ટરની અંદર માહિતી મેળવીશું. ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટર બાયસિંગ. We know that the transistor having three terminals like a PNP and NPN, like a three names: base, emitter and collector. So which transistor connect into circuits, it is called biasing. Inherent variation of the transistor parameters like alpha parameters, beta parameters, stabilization, stability factors, methods of transistor biasing, base resistor methods, emitter base methods, feedback resistor method, voltage divider biasing, low power transistor biasing, circuit designing and numerical examples. આપણે આ ચેપ્ટરની અંદર ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટરને સર્કિટ્સની અંદર કેવી રીતના જોડવો, ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટરને કેવી રીતના સ્ટેબિલાઇઝ કરવો, રજિસ્ટર મેથડ, એમિટર બેઝ મેથડ, ફીડબેક રજિસ્ટર મેથડ, વોલ્ટેજ ડિવાઇડર બાયસિંગ, લો પાવર ટ્રાન્ઝિસ્ટર બાયસિંગ, સર્કિટ વગેરેની ડિઝાઇનિંગ કરશું. અને આના બેઝ ઉપર આપણે એક મિની પ્રોજેક્ટ પણ ડિઝાઇન કરશું. We are using the single stage transistor applications, single stage transistor amplifier circuits, like the introduction to simple stage single stage transistor amplifier, how to transistor amplifiers, graphical examinations, practical circuit of transistor amplifier, phase reversal, voltage gain, log line analysis, classifications of amplifiers, frequency response, bandwidth of C, common emitter amplifiers, numerical apertures, and numerical examples. Basic reference book of Unit 3 is Principle of Electronics by V.K. Mehta and Rohit Mehta, publisher of S-Science, easily available in our libraries. Basic Electronics by B.L. Thereja, publisher S-Sun. It is very good books for electronics concepts and very attractive graphics in these books to easily to understand how to biasing our transistor. Many types of transistor available in markets. We are using this chapter BJT, bipolar junction transistor, for basic circuit design. Unit 4 is 12 hours and 14 marks, like AC circuits. We know that we are not live without the electricity in more than 1 hours. 1 કલાકથી વધારે આપણે લોકો ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી વગર રહી શકતા નથી. એમ કહીએ તો પણ ચાલે કે આપણા જીવનની અંદર ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી છે એ ખૂબ જ અગત્યનો ભાગ બની ગઈ છે. So we are discussing the AC circuits, LR circuits, RC circuits, LC circuits, LCR circuits, series and parallel connections with resonance numerical examples. AC bridge and their applications. AC bridge conditions for bridge balance, impedance bridge, Maxwell impedance, and LC bridge, Aoun bridge, de Sauty bridge, Venn bridge, Scaring bridge, Collarus bridge, numerical examples. We are studying the various types of bridge in this unit. And then we are discuss about the oscillators, sinusoidal oscillators, positive feedback, back horns, and Criterion, different types of transistor oscillators, Colpitts oscillators, Hartley oscillators, phase shift oscillators, Venn bridge oscillators, numerical examples. Unit 5, 12 hours and 14 hours. We are introduced to modulation and demodulations. In this chapter, we are studying the communication parts like a modem. Modem means modulation and demodulations. And its short name is modem. We are studying in this topic radio broadcasting, transmission and receptions, modulations, types of modulations like amplitude modulations, transistor AM modulator, limitations of amplitude modulations, frequency modulations, demodulations, initial in demodulations, AM diode detector, types of AM receiver, radio receivers. And Unit 5 reference book is basic reference book is Electricity and Magnetism by D.C. Tayal, publisher Himalaya Publishing House. Modern Electronics Instrumentation and Measurement Technique by Albert D. Elfrich and William D. Cooper, publisher of PSI. Principle of Electronics by V.K. Mehta and Rohit Mehta, S-Sang publishers. Our other reference book is for semester 3 is Electricity and Magnetism by D.C. Tayal, publisher Himalaya Publishing House. Modern Electronic Instrumentation and Measurement Technique by Albert D. Elfrich, William D. Cooper. Principle of Electronics by V.K. Mehta and Rohit Mehta. Other reference book is Electromagnetic by B.B. Lord. Publisher is Valley Aston Limited. Electricity and Magnetism by Edward B. Purcell's. Electricity and Magnetism by J.S. Fuchs and J. Yearwood. Other reference book is University Physics by Roland Rees. Concept of Physics by S.C. Verma, Part 1. University Physics with Modern Physics by Sears, Jamacansi, and S.D. Young. Other reference book is shown on your display, like basic electronics and linear circuits, elements of electronics, elements, electronic device and circuit, engineering physics by Dr. Dr. Kulsertha. We are using to e-learning. Useful website is shown in your display. www.physics.about.com, www.physics.org, physicsclassroom.com, howstuffwork.com, colorado.edu.physics 2000, ndrs.org.physics.com, physicslink.com, fearofphysics.com, hyperphysics.com. List of experiment. It is most important to study of theory with help of examples and experiments, like a determined of the Young modulus of material by cantilever method, determine the Young modulus of material by bending of beam method, determine the viscosity of liquid by Serrel coaxial cylinder, determine of the inertia by flywheel, determine resolving power of prism, determine resolving power of telescope, to determine radius, determine reflective index of liquid by using liquid lens method, determine the radius of curvature of given lens and reflective index of glass using optical lever method, study of Zener diode as a voltage regulator, characteristics, to study the characteristics of phototransistor and verify inverse square law, to determine the Q point and load line for BJT, determine the figure of merits and volt sensitivity of ballistic galvanometer, to study of frequency response and bandwidth of RC coupled amplifier, to study of variation of magnetic field of solenoids, experimental measurement by multimeters, power supply, resistors, transistor, diode and capacitor. We are in this practical, we are how to use multimeter in the lab session, to study LR and RC circuits, to study the series resistant LCR circuit and determine resonant frequency and quickly factor, to study the parallel resonant LCR circuit and determine resonant frequency quietly factor, to determine the capacity C. Of capacitor, variation of series and parallel connection of capacitor to determine the self inductance of L inductor, variation of series and parallel connection of insulator. Reference book for practical semester 3. BSc Practical Physics by C.L. Arora. A textbook of practical physics by Indu Prakash B. and B. Ramakrishna Publishers. Practical Physics by S.L. Gupta and V. Kumar. B. Saraphatal Physics through Experiment Volume 1 and 2. BSc Practical Physics by Harman Singh, Dr. P.S. Harman. Thank you very much. We are soon